Feels good. Are we on the air? Hello, hello. All right. Can you hear me out there? Ooh. We're coming on just a little bit early for any of you guys that happen to be tuned in. I know we were checking. You can look on yours if you need to, but no, keep me that one. We're just figured we'd go ahead and get the feed going. We're at the Pickens County Library tonight, and we certainly appreciate their help in getting us a live connection here. Unfortunately, Michelle and I down in the Possum Holler there, we don't have enough internet connection to get a live show out like this. So we're going to basically just give everybody here just a few minutes. We got another 2 or 3 minutes before 7 p.m. So we're going to check it out. If you're out there and you can see us, shoot us a little message and let us know if you can hear me and hear us. Everybody say, hey.
Hi.
Hey. Yep. And let us know where you're at, where you're tuning in from, and that kind of thing. We've got another couple of minutes here before we actually go live. But we want to give everybody an opportunity to dial it in and get ready to go here. We're going to share it from the page that is coming from the Pickens County Library. We're going to share that to our Buffalo Barfield and Unheard of Entertainment page. And we're also going to share it to our personal page, Greg Buffalo Barfield. So wherever you're at, hopefully it'll find you. And also, we'll be sharing that to the Facebook page for the McKissick Museum, as well as the Pickens County Museum here. And if you're hunting, the volume buttons are on the top up there. Yeah. We have all our helpers in the background over there.
Please forgive us.
And they're looking at us
This is all
funny.
new to us.
So we have to say we're just happy to be doing a live
Yes,
stream.
we are.
I mean, number one, this is our first one that we've ever done, period, really,
Yeah.
other than some little clip we might have did at a fair somewhere when we were traveling, but not a show per se. So we're going to try to get all this shared to the pages there. We getting them shared there, Miss Jennifer? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, a nod. We got the nod. So hopefully some of you folks from the Buffalo Barfield page, as well as the Greg Buffalo Barfield page, will be able to log in and check us out now. And again, if you're watching and you just happen to be just now seeing something, let us know if you're getting a picture and some sound. It's like back when you was growing up in the 70s, we'd go, turn that TV dial a little bit. Get them fuzzy things off the TV. We got to get all the fuzzy out of the TV tonight. Pull out, what was it we used to do is put a
Aluminum foil.
aluminum foil on the rabbit ears. That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. We were new. I knew Steve would know. And for those of you
Yes, I remember
just tuning
Rin
in,
Tin Tin.
Steve knows everything from Rin Tin Tin forward. We're going to have a good time tonight, though. Yeah. So like I say, if you guys happen to be tuning in right now, let us know if you've got a little bit of picture and a little bit of sound, because we're getting ready to.
Some of our New York people on there already.
Cool. We could see
Welcome, New York.
the upstate New York folks were waiting there in the wings there a minute ago. We're trying to watch a few of these things down here and see if we can get everybody dialed in. There again, we want to thank the Pickens County Library for helping us out tonight. And
Yes.
not only are they helping us just get the connection, but they have a wonderful camera system, microphones, and some lighting. And so that was good. Steve enjoys a lot of light on, it's and me, of course, with this big old hat, I gotta have some light, so you can see what's going.
Thank South Carolina.
We in good shape over there, girls? Yep, all right. Well, before we get totally into it, again, I just want to say thanks to everybody that's helped us make all this happen. And I got a quick little thing I want to read here, just give a couple of shouts out. Some of our folks were talking about, that follow us all the time, knew that we were working with the South Carolina Arts Commission and trying to get some grants to do things and to do things like this. And so I just want to let you know that this program tonight, we'd like to give a special thanks to the South Carolina Arts Commission for for their support. This series that the McKissick Museum is calling Quarantunes is a part of a whole music series that wouldn't be possible without a Folklife partnership and a grant that comes through just the National Endowment of Arts, all these things. Whenever you hear, the Endowment of the Arts and, somebody goes, oh, why are they giving all that money to these things? Well, this is one of the reasons right here. And it trickles down truly to a lot of small places, just like Pickens County and this system and every other little system and every other little school. So it's a great thing. And we appreciate the Arts Commission for all of their help, and they kind of hooked me up with these guys over here to do this tonight. And so we're just looking forward to the show.
Yes, we are.
And we're going to pick you some music tonight. And those of you that know us, you know me and Michelle. I'm Greg Buffalo Barfield, evidently, according to the title over there. And this is my wife, Miss Michelle. And we have a buddy of ours that a lot of you guys that we travel through the Northeast, New York, Vermont, Pennsylvania. You always hear us talking about our little picking band back home and some buddies. And this guy over here has been my buddy for a long time. I mean, a long time now.
Long time.
Yeah, met at the Music Maker right here in the little town of Easley years ago. But you've heard Steve playing on a lot of the tracks and things that we do when we're on the road.
CDs they have.
CDs
Yeah.
that we have and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Steve's he's in the band. Yeah.
He's
Him
that
and
Wichita you talk about.
Yeah, he's gonna be Wichita tonight. That's right. There's a lot of Wichitas,
Yeah.
Jarrett Castles, Ronnie Monroe, Steve over here, lots of them, and J.C. Owen. But we're gonna play you a few tunes tonight. We're gonna try you one here that's an old-timey kind of it's a little bit of blues, a little country, and a little bit of just old folky kind of thing. We heard Doc Watson doing it, but it goes
Yep.
back more than that. It's called the Deep River Blues. Let's go to town. Let it rain, let it pour, let it rain a whole lot more. I got the Deep River Blues. Let that rain drive right on, let the waves sweep along. I got the Deep River Blues. Dig it, Wichita. Take me back to Muscle Show. Times there's better, I'm told. I got the Deep River Blues. Give me my own boat. I'm on sail, if she'll float. I got the Deep River Blues. One more time. My old gal, she's a pal. The way she walks looks like a waterfowl. I got the Deep River Blues. Ain't no one to cry for me. Fish all go out on the spree. I got the Deep River Blues. Take it on, girl.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and the
What?
crowd went wild, hopefully in your living rooms or wherever else shit you're at tonight. The oddest thing for us, I think, this evening is going to be, especially you folks that have been to a live show, know that we just really interact with the crowd. And so we're just talking to that camera over there. But, we really do appreciate being here, and I want to give a shout out to Ian for all of his help too, down to McKissick and at the museum to just sort of get us oriented to do this thing. We have not done a lot of stuff online, and so we really appreciate this opportunity to get to do that. And hopefully we can start doing a lot more of this. We were talking to the girls here at the library earlier about maybe doing just that. So who knows? Maybe we'll do something once a month, once a week. Who knows? It could be any kind of thing in there, you know? But we do look forward to that. And just so you'll know tonight, 2 new things for us. We have on our website, buffalobarfield.com. Tonight, one of the things that we're doing is we have a virtual tip jar, and Ian, I know he's out there listening, so maybe he could share that link. But we have a virtual tip jar on the website, and we always jokingly say, just write what you want to hear on the back of a $20 bill and send it over here to Michelle. Well, tonight you'll have to do that with a credit card, I guess, through the PayPal. So we just set that up, and it's on our website. If you go to our website, buffalobarfield.com, up on the top left-hand side, there's a little tip
mason jar.
It's
Looks like a mason jar.
It is like a little mason jar, and it says, click here if you'd like to send a donation. So we would appreciate that. We gotta find a way to pay Steve over here, and he said I needed some grooming gear, so Michelle
That's
said
right.
my
And he
beard
needs a
was stuck
haircut.
out, so, you
Ladies,
know,
don't you think?
I don't know. I got to get a haircut, so who knows? We're saving up for the house and a haircut, so we'll see. Whew. How about we do a little bit of step it up and go, man? Let me go see if I can put the clutch on this thing, and we'll skip it up here a little bit. This is one that we do a lot of times on our live show, but where does this song come from, Steve? I mean, this is really another old blues song. Where did you pick it up?
When I first heard it was, I guess, a Lead Belly tune.
Yeah, even better. I talk a lot about Lead Belly when we're up north, and I talk about it mainly because I learned it from this guy. I really have learned a tremendous amount of just folk and folklore and the musicologist over here. But I really do appreciate that. You and Dean Watson both, and appreciate that, man. Well, pick us one of them. This one's called Step It Up and Go. It's for Uncle Ed.
It's for Uncle Ed.
Me and my baby walking down the street, tell everybody what she would believe. Step it up and go. Yeah, go. Lord, you can't say that. Swear you gotta step it up and go. Know a little gal lives upstairs, trying to make a living on it, putting on that. Step it up and go. Yeah, go. Lord, you can't stand that. Swear you gotta step it up and go. Let's go. With a back door shut, front door too, blind school down, honey, what you gonna do? Step it up and go. Yeah. Lord, you can't stand that. Swear you gotta step it up and go. Well, I got a sweet woman, she was little and low. She used to love me, but she don't know more. Gotta step it up and go. Yeah. Lord, you can't stand that. Swear you gotta step it up and go. Woo, with the towel now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, now let me tell you. Yeah, see my little woman, Lord, I gotta hurry
I can see Ed now, just bobbing his head.
Somebody was going,
Yeah, I know.
yeah. Well, hopeful anyway. That's right. Take your shoes off and just get your socks on some linoleum at home and have a little fun. That's right. You know, in my discussions with Ian the other week on the little Meet the Artist thing, we talked about washboards and all of these kind of little bit different instrumentation, and we're trying to throw a few different things at you tonight. Steve's going to play what some people would just go, hey, that's a slide, but it's resonator guitar is really what that guitar is, right?
Sure.
And in the old days, folks didn't have any amplification. They sit around and played like we are, and that thing has really got some lungs. I mean, it sings out. And even this old 6-string banjo, this is a 1929, and it's a 6-string banjo. You don't see a lot of those, but it's kind of a neat thing. This one was made by a company in Pennsylvania called Wayman, and I have never seen anybody other than Wayman that ever done this. This was a patent thing that they had, and at first I was like, what the heck is that? And we met a guy, do you remember the older guy that was up in Merle Fest, and Andy May was friends with him?
Yep.
Curtis
Yeah.
played banjo. You remember his last name, Curtis?
I don't.
I can't either. But he a fantastic guy and old enough to know about these sorts of things. But he was talking about this little hoop in there is to give this head, this is a really large head, and when you have low strings, it would have no treble-y sound to it without that hoop being in there. So it gives it the illusion that this is a smaller head, it's a little brighter. But this has been a fun little instrument. I'm going to play some tonight to just kind of give it a little bit of a old, what we did like jug band feel, and heard people like that doing. And I always see things, and Steve can tell you more than me, but like 6-string banjo, I always heard people talking about. Pink Anderson played one, but I know Gary Davis played one, right?
Yep.
On a lot of those things.
Sure did.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not anywhere nothing like a Gary Davis, that's for sure, but I love Gary Davis music, and I know Steve, that's, he loves, that's one of your main influences, yeah?
Sam McGee played one.
There you go. I mean, there were a lot of people.
Grandfather of country music.
There you go. That's what that's what I was telling Ian the other night, that the music, he said, well, what kind of music? And you notice in the description it said that we've got all this different kind of music. But it really is, if you go back far enough, it was all in the same pot. And then people started calling it this and calling it that. But before those times, there were all kind of people that played it. And they heard somebody playing a particular thing and they went, well, I could use that. And I come at it with a little bit more country bass. And Steve's got a real bluesy background in the bass and finger picking style that he's doing is Piedmont blues. And so it's kind of an interesting little mix that we're getting tonight. But we're going to try an old bluesy, nice song you can get your partner up, y'all too back yonder, and you can do a little slow dancing out there, all right? We'll do a little bit of blues, Stay Away From Me. Stay away from me. Blues, why don't you let me be? I don't know why you keep on haunting me. Was never meant for me. True love was never meant for me. Seems somehow we never can agree. I sit and blue. Stay away from me. Blues, why everybody now. Blue, stay away from me. Blues, why don't you let me be? I don't know why you keep on haunting me. One more time. So many I can't see. Years don't mean a thing to me. Time goes by and still I can't be free. One more time. Said blue, stay away from me. Blue, why don't you let me be? I don't know why you keep on haunting me. Don't know why, Lord, you keep on haunting me. Yeah. Woo, doggy, doggy.
Ooh, don't that sound pretty?
I know somebody's out there sliding around.
I know they are.
Yeah, man.
You've got a lot of fans watching.
Well,
Do
thank
we?
you. If you guys are out there, top in, these guys are watching your comments. We unfortunately can't see it, but they're going to relay it. They're relaying some things
Go
across.
ahead, Jennifer, what was you?
Let
We
us-
got folks from Plattsburgh. saying
Plattsburgh!
Hey, Plattsburgh.
Tennessee.
Awesome,
Awesome.
Tennessee.
And some folks are saying they're learning social media. you guys.
Well, we learn in social media
What's that?
too.
Most of them are talking about how much they miss you.
Oh.
Well, you know what, guys,
We miss y'all too.
I can't tell you honestly how
We
this,
were heartbroken, just heartbroken.
this
Yeah.
year will be the first year in like 15,
Oh,
maybe
good.
more,
Probably
but at least
more.
15 years that we haven't, been out to do our normal summertime tour and go up north. And we have made so many friends and fans, but everybody's fan's a friend. I mean, that's just the way it works this year.
Family.
I mean, it really is. People come to the show and we all hang out and people get to know one another, and we're fortunate to have you, and we don't take that for granted. And
Not at all.
we say it all the time, but honestly, that is so much the truth. We really realize just how much we miss coming to all the little towns,
Yeah.
and it's funny how, especially in upstate New York, somebody will mention, we'll say something, I go to New York, and they'll say, oh, well, I was from upstate, and I'll say, well, where? And they say, oh, well, you wouldn't know it, it's a little town. I'll say, well, where is it? And they'll pick one, and I'll say, oh, that's over by the Delaware County Fair. Oh, yeah, they say, yeah, and so it's really nice, and we appreciate you guys, we really do, and
Plattsburgh is the Clinton County Fair. We do that
Yep.
one too. So that's probably Carroll and maybe
Yeah.
the Hamels.
Carol
and the
Nevis?
Huh?
yeah.
Carol Nevis?
Carol Neelis is,
That's in the little, that's
a
big
small-
town down where Carol
That's
Neelis is.
in
That's
Morris.
New York.
That's
Yeah.
Morris, New York.
Says,
I
now we
see
just need a
that.
dancing clown.
That's all we need, that's right. That's Chi-Chi, we call it.
Yes.
I always kid him, he was a Chi-Chi the clown, and I'd go, it's Cha-Cha Rodriguez. We'd have the best time though, you know?
I see those in the house. All
Yeah,
right.
but hey, the good news is, even though we didn't get to have events this year, we're scheduled to be coming everywhere next year. So let them know you appreciate that, and
Yes.
keep up on the website. We've been posting the 2021 season and anything else we can think of there. And we have a brand new store. Now show them your face mask.
Oh,
We had to come in with our face
we do
mask.
have
Everybody
face
got a
masks, and
Yeah.
we have been wearing them.
Yes, we
but,
had to wear them to get in the library.
You can go on our website and go in the little store, just hit shop, and you can hit on apparel. There is, I think, accessories.
All
and-
kinds of stuff.
And that type of thing.
Novelty items.
But we
had
have-
to come up with different things because we didn't know what to call
Well,
them.
that's true. And we have T-shirts, and we've got them in all colors. We've had some people already order them. They said they're gonna come to the fair looking like, a pretty rainbow just coming across the way. And I can't wait to see them. But
That's
we do
right.
have our face mask, and they come in different colors.
You know what we always say? Buy 6 or 8 of these and send them to people you don't like at Christmas time.
Yes, that'd be a good thing. But I've got my white one here with me. He's got the black
Yeah.
one. And they come in blue and a kind of a
Color right there
orangey
on.
red, and
Way to go.
but they're really cute.
Auburn.
Yeah,
Auburn. We actually have one in Auburn,
Yeah,
too. That's
kind of
right.
like Patrick's hair over there.
That's
Kind
right.
of an auburn color.
That's right. Yes, sirree. Patrick is our
anyway.
library liaison tonight.
Yeah.
He's keeping us in good shape and
That's
answering
right.
your questions back there, you know.
But no, we would appreciate it if you could just visit the website, and we love you guys. So
For sure, man. We have missed everybody a whole bunch, and we're really, really happy to do this tonight. Thanks again to the Arts Commission for
Yes.
helping secure the funding to do this, the McKissick Museum and Ian and everybody down there that helped put this whole series together. Now, they have a whole series, so keep your eyes on the McKissick Museum, and they'll be doing quarantines quite a ways on through the end of the year, maybe. I know I've seen
Sure.
Andy is coming up, and John Fowler, I think, is going to be doing
So,
something.
yeah.
yeah.
Steve had done one earlier in the year. They kind of, made him the
You can
test. He
probably
was
go
the guinea
back.
pig.
I think they probably have yours down. You can go back and watch.
Yes,
it.
you can go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, Jennifer and Stephanie, thank you for letting us be here at the Pickens County Library.
We couldn't be doing this tonight without the
No,
Pickens County
and I
Library.
know that the New York, they had a virtual fair this year, and we just did
We had
not
no
have the
internet connection.
means of doing that for you guys. We wanted to, but it
We
just
we do.
wasn't in
And
the works.
hopefully, maybe we can try to line up some more of these things too. So
Yeah.
share it with your friends and neighbors. And we're going to let Steve sing you one tonight. Now, this is an
Yeah.
old tune that I don't know anything about where this one comes from, but I always loved the title, Old Black Dog. Steve used to have 2 old black dogs.
I did.
Yes, he
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
I was called that a lot of times when I came away from
We'll put a little hokum on this one. See if we can get a little bit of that jug bandit kind of feel.
Oh, yeah.
Got them to get my disease.
Okay.
Call me your dog when I'm gone. It's old black dog when I'm gone. When I come home with a $10 bill, this sweet daddy, where you been so long? I've been around this whole country,
All around.
and I've been down to sunny Tennessee. Any old place that I hang my hat,
Where's that?
it's home sweet home to me.
Oh, yeah.
Call me your dog when I'm gone. This old black dog when I'm gone. When I come home with a $10 bill, this sweet daddy, where you been so long? What's that thing?
Uh-oh. How about a little tin can? Maybe it's the 2x4?
My daddy was a gambling man,
Have mercy.
gambled down in sunny Tennessee. Taught me to bet all my money
On what?
On Ace Jack the Deuce fair trade. Call me your dog when I'm down. It's old black dog when I'm gone. When I come home with a $10 bill, it's sweet daddy, where you been so long? I rolled the dice down in Cuba, and I dealt them cards over in Spain. Any old time that deal goes down, I hop on an outbound train. Call me your dog when I'm gone. Old black dog when I'm gone. When I come home with a $10 bill, it's sweet daddy, where you been so long? Don't let your deal go down.
Ain't gone.
Never let that deal go down. Don't let your deal go down, sweet mama, till that last gold dollar is gone.
Endings while you wait. Yeah. That's the
There's
best.
a new one for you guys.
That's the best part about a little bit of live music. Oh man.
I'm gonna
Yeah, that is
bring me a
another
drink of
good
water.
old tune for our up north folks.
Well, I think if they go on our website, we're singing that when we did that.
We are. We did a program that was part of the YAM program that we have around here, and the YAM program is something called Young Appalachian Musicians. It ain't about taters, but Lord knows we love taters.
It ain't about sweet taters.
I've been eating plenty of taters ever since the
He
the
has,
coronavirus
y'all.
come along. You know, just laid around eating taters since March. It's
Well, you
terrible.
know, it's
Yeah.
that,
Well, technically, a sweet potato's not a potato.
So it's
a
not?
root. No, it's a root.
it's a root.
Yeah.
It is?
It is a root.
A
Well,
potato is a tuber.
well. Is that
It's
any,
on the root.
tuber? A tuber? Is that anything like a rhubarb? Like those rhubarb? I love to go north and we have
Watch
rhubarb.
that.
Strawberry rhubarb pie. Easy now, easy now.
Easy
It's
now,
a family
easy
show.
now.
Yeah.
Have we got anybody asking questions or what you
Somebody
got?
requesting some harmonica.
Some
Some harmonica, there you go. Well, let's
Compliments on
see.
your boots, Michelle.
Huh?
Compliments on your boots.
Oh,
There you
well,
go.
thank you
Yeah.
very much. I've had them probably for about 3 years now, and I never get to wear them.
And they click.
And they do.
Yeah.
They have a click, y'all. We've been trying to figure out where in the heck that click's coming
Yeah.
from. Every
We
time I
thought it was
walk,
in the sound, but it was in her boot.
click, and you know, I'm beginning to think it might be my hip or something. I don't know, but you know,
It's
something.
Steve's hips clicking, that's what that was.
That's why they keep me, so she can hide
That's
her
right, we
boot-
have to have him for that. That's
her boot
right.
problem. That's an old man over there.
That's right, keep an old fella around.
Yeah, you
Can of
put the harmonica
WD-40.
on this one, didn't you? I know you're right.
Oh, no, you're right, we play some harp on it.
Yeah.
I bet, it could be Uncle Ed asking for that out
I'm gonna
there.
say that was
Call him
Ed
Uncle
Eden
Ed.
asking for
It could be anybody, I love to play,
who?
Rena
Rena.
Holbert.
with, you know, we,
Oh, Renee.
yeah,
Renee
I like to
Harper.
play, yeah.
Yes, okay.
I love playing the harmonica, and to be honest
Yeah,
with you,
Yeah.
I probably
I'm sorry.
got, again, no, that influence come from Steve somewhat, you know, listening to him, and these guys would all come, I worked in a music store years ago, trying to get us up to doing what we were doing going on the road. The best place for a wannabe musician to be trying to work, if you could call it that, was working at the music store. And people like Steve and Eddie Bolt and everybody else from around Easley would come in the store and sit around and play things, and they thought they were making out like they were trying out stuff, but they just come down to sit around and play with the rest of us. And you could do that back in those days. You could get away with that, and it was fun. That was the days when you had a real mom and pop store and not online everything. Now, this song we're going to do is it's called "I Know You Rider." And this one that we've been slowly kind of working into some of our sets that we did up north, and mainly because there again I heard Steve doing this song, and from that, I also learned that, you know, people know this song because of the Grateful Dead. They hear the Grateful Dead doing it. And then, what was the bluegrass group that did,
Seldom Seen.
Seldom Seen. The Seldom Seen did this a lot. And that, you know, brought that popularity out. But this song is a really old, just traditional song. Do you know where did
It
this?
was first recorded by Alan Lomax, and it was actually, the original title is Woman Blues.
That's right. I remember seeing that. Yeah. And, you know, people always go, I know you're right, or what are they talking about? That's kind of part of that. You know, we won't go too deep in there.
No.
But it's, you know, we'll let you figure that. Google it up. This will be good for you tonight. But this is a great example of a song that's really good old time traditional blues song that really turned into, there have been, you know, country, hillbilly, bluegrass, psychedelic, you know, everybody and their brother has done this song. So we're going to give you our twisted
Our
version
version.
tonight, and we'll put a little harmonic
Hope
on
we
it
get
for you
right.
out there. We'll see what goes.
Yeah.
Ready?
Go for it. I know you right, you gonna miss me when I'm gone. I know you right, you gonna miss me when I'm gone. Gonna miss you, baby, rolling in your arms. Let down last night, but I could not take my rest. Lay down last night, but I could not take my rest. I might wonder, like a wild geese in the wind. Well, the sun's gonna shine in my back door someday. The sun's gonna shine in my back door someday. March wind will blow all my blues away. I know you're right, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. I know you're right, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. Gonna miss you, baby, rolling in your arms. Play that thing. Well, I wish I was headline on the northbound train. Well, I wish I was headline on the northbound train. I'd shine my light through the cool dark Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Y'all. Thanks for letting us do that for you. It's a great song, and been a lot of people do it through the times. I would definitely go and Google that one up and listen to some of the other versions. But it's another great example. I know when me and Ian were talking about, just the music that we done. It's funny how we didn't set out really at all thinking about, playing traditional music per se, but we were. I grew up around it, my parents listened to all kinds of music, so I had lots of influences. I mean, Mom would be listening, of course, to Elvis. Every lady her age listened to Elvis, but lots of other things came from her side. And then Dad would play, the most traditional of traditional songs, even, whether it was Jimmy Rogers, we were talking about earlier, or a Woody Guthrie song, or, a train song that Johnny Cash was doing, and all of the country people. So we just got really a pretty wide mix of tunes. And maybe we'll do them when you want to do the blues, My Old Friend the Blues.
Sure.
We'll get Steve to play a little bit on his, on them slide guitars over there, the big resonator, and a little sip of Uncle Percy's hybrid spring water there for you. Maybe we can get that on the store before it's over with.
You never know.
Someone asked if you had your hybrid spring water.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, we got it
Well,
right here.
we've got it.
We had to disguise it tonight in these here tumblers,
Yeah.
Michelle's got
I've got
one.
two. To
Yeah,
get me
because
going.
one is not enough, Speaking of the traditional music in South Carolina, there
I'm
we
gonna
go.
drink out of this one too.
Yeah.
So what's that
my.
water mated with to make it a hybrid?
Oh, well, Uncle Percy likes that. It's hybrid spring water. Uncle Percy's hybrid spring water. Friends, remember, whenever you're making biscuits, always use Uncle Percy's hybrid spring water. Cool, clear, soft, delicate, delicious biscuits every time.
Woo! Lord have mercy.
Yeah, Uncle Percy, when he makes his hybrid spring water, it usually involves some copper tubing and a radiator. Hope I ain't talking over your head. That's just one for y'all to go there.
No.
Little dark corner reference there for you. Yeah, Lord, soon to be on the store. That's right. Yeah,
Never know.
can't never tell. This song is not nearly as old, but it feels like a great traditional ballad to me. It's always been one of my favorites. It's called My Old Friend the Blues, and it's actually written by Steve Earle. It's a great song, but we're going to try to do it this way tonight. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just when every ray was gone, should have known that you would come along. Can't believe I ever doubted you. My old friend of me, another lonely night. Sleep don't take me first, you come around. I know I can always count on you. My old friend of blue, lovers leave and friends will let you down. You're the only sure thing. No matter what I do, I'll never what you do. You're the only sure thing. No matter what I do, I'll never leave. My old friend the blue, let me hide my weary heart in you. My old friend the
Carol Nealon says, mercy, can't that Mr. Steve make those strings weep?
Yes, he can. Mercy.
Carol
Yeah.
Nealon.
I've been telling him,
Miss
Carol, I said,
Hey,
you know,
Carol.
we just gotta get Steve to go up north with us sometime. So
I
y'all,
know.
y'all
Wouldn't
send
y'all
him
like
lots
to
of
see Steve
messages.
come up
That's
and
right.
play with us some?
That's
I
right.
know you would.
There you go. That's right. We would love to do that, and certainly, and hopefully maybe we can do that. We're looking
Well, you
forward,
never know.
looking forward to next season. That's for doggone sure. Amen.
Gary Hamel wants to know if you could do the LA International Airport song.
Yeah. Well, tell him you can't never tell. We take requests. We just don't take them serious.
Oh, Gary.
Unless, of course, you write it on the back of a $20 bill and you send it over to Michelle. Now, tonight, that's going to be a little hard to do. So, I don't know. We have our new virtual tip jar, so maybe
Yes.
you can just write what you want to hear in there, send it to one of the folks back here, and then you request. And it's go to the website there and look up at the top onto the little tip jar there and throw something in it. We'd appreciate it. We are saving for that set of mag wheels for the house, you know.
That's
so
right.
we're hoping to
Well,
get
I
those.
tell you, Gary, we're not going to LA, but we are going to San Francisco. So
That's
There
close.
you go. It's pretty close. So,
Mhm.
Hey, Gary. Hey, Linda. I know y'all are watching
It's
tonight.
Linda.
It's Linda.
Hey, we miss you guys so much. I mean, honestly, I tell you, too much. So we're gonna do San Francisco Bay.
That's what you get on the list.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
what's on the
that's what
list.
he's got on his list.
We have a set list tonight, and those of you who come to see us, you know that we don't ever have a
Can
set
you
list.
believe it?
Yeah, that don't ever happen.
No, it never does.
We're not paying this one any attention either. I'm gonna hide down here behind this little board. This is the other thing that's good when you're the washboard player, you can just hide down in there, you know. Or you could pop up and say, hey, you know, just whatever you want. The real trick tonight is being able to, I've got this little goat bell that where do we find that thing?
In North Wilkesboro.
It was in North
Carolina,
Wilkesboro, yeah.
Where we do Merle Fest, and we
Yeah.
do a little small fair there too, the Wilkesboro
Wilkes
County.
County Fair.
Yeah,
That's
we
right.
missed them this year too.
Maybe
so.
Wayne and them's on
Shout
there
out
tonight.
to
Yeah, that's
Wilkesboro,
right.
too.
You're
You've
from
got folks
Wilkes,
that said
somebody.
They missed you in North Wilkesboro.
Well,
Aw,
all right,
we miss y'all
Wilkesboro's in
too.
the house. We love Wilkesboro.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found a little goat thing here, and the trick is most of the time, you know, you have to stand up to play the washboard, you know? And, well, that puts my head out of the shot, she said earlier, so I don't know. So I'm gonna try to sit down, but if I can't get the goat bell, I may have to stand up.
I
You
think
can't never
you should
tell.
try.
Who knows what'll happen. So we're gonna do some San Francisco Bay, and we're gonna let Steve sing another one for you.
Yeah.
Take it all. Barry.
I got the blues for my baby left it by the San Francisco Bay. Where the ocean line and the duck is so far away. Well, I didn't mean to treat you so bad. Geez, this gal I ever had a hand. Big bye, thought she made me cry. Thought I'd lay down and die. Ain't got a nickel, ain't got a lousy dime. Well, if you leave, you don't wanna lose your mind. If you ever come back safe, gonna be a brand new day. Walking with my baby down by the San Francisco Bay. Sitting here looking for my back door, wondering which way to go. That woman I'm crazy about, she don't love me no more. Take me a freight train,
Oh, yeah.
all the feeling blue.
I'm blue.
Right all the way to the end of the line, only thinking of you. Wild in the city, just got to go insane. Sound like my baby long, wishing you called my name. If you ever come back today, it's gonna be a brand new day. Walking with my baby down by the San Francisco Bay. Blow that thing.
All right, then.
Oh, here we go.
Blues for my baby left by the San Francisco Bay.
Yes, he did.
Oh, don't you mind, just so far away. Well, I didn't mean to treat her so bad.
No, sir.
She's the best girl I ever had.
Amen.
Say goodbye, thought she made me cry. Thought to lay down and die. Ain't got a nickel, ain't got a lousy dime.
I'm dying.
Well, if you leave, you're gonna lose my mind. If you ever come back to stay, it's gonna be a brand new day. Walking with my baby down by the San Francisco Bay. Hey, hey, walking with my baby down by the San Francisco Bay. Hey, hey, walking with my baby down by the San Francisco Bay.
Well, that was a chase the whole time with this thing. Remember, kids, when you're at home and you're going to play the kazoo with your band, remember to put it on before the song starts, and then take the wing nuts and tighten it down. Now, this is a neat little thing. I was talking to Ian a little bit about some of these the other night. This is a way of making a kazoo that does not require plastic and what do you call it, injection molding, that kind of thing. Patrick could tell us more about that than I would. But I was lucky enough to meet a guy, talking about Merlefest and Willis. David Holt is always at Merlefest. And for those of you that don't know David Holt, Google him and watch everything that he's got because it's incredible. And he was really one of the first people that sort of inspired us about playing the washboard, other than the fact that we just liked Cajun and Zydeco music and wanted to go to Louisiana. And we really learned about it down there by just taking a trip. And I talked about that on the Meet the Artist series, and you guys can watch that because they've got it back up now. The Meet the Artist is so you can watch it on Facebook now. But I was telling him how I went up to Bristol, Tennessee, and there was a man up there that was making these, and John is his name, and he has a banjo thing that David Holt talks about him all the time. Steve, I don't know if you know, do you know the guy that I'm talking about, John, that's in Bristol, Tennessee, and makes the old style banjos and still, carves them out of, I'm trying to think of it. He's got it's such a noteworthy John. Noteworthy John. If you Google him, it'll come up. But he's the guy that, he was so kind to me to say, I mean, but how many people call up and go, hey, I'd like to learn about them kazoos, and he's like, well, I got a fish on the line. Let me go do that. So he says, yeah. I said, would you mind if I came up and, looked at the banjos and showed me how to make these? He was like, yeah, come on, So he was really nice, showed me how to do this one. But this one is cedar on the inside, and it's got one hole in the front like most kazoos, and one smaller hole, and then most kazoos would have a hole just on the top. And I figured if one hole was good, two was even better. So this one's got two. And but yeah, it's you just hum into it. And it's a great little fun instrument that adds to the certain songs anyway, you know.
Carol commented that she said it looked like a piece of toast in your mouth.
It is. It is. Well, you know, it does look like a piece of toast. This
Oh,
one
that's
especially.
hilarious,
Yeah.
Carol.
Yeah.
I
And
love
if
you,
you're
Carol.
hungry, you get a little snack, you know. I love it. I love making them this way, and I kind of ended up with sort of this sizing a little bit. But John's is like that. But you can put it right in your back pocket. It's just no problem. Or you can put it into your side pocket. In fact, that's what I ought to do instead I don't lose it.
Which Carol was that?
Is it Neela's?
Neela's, Carol
Yeah,
Neela's.
that sounds like her.
Because I know Carol Gokey's watching too.
Woo, me. Well,
All right. That
Worked
sounds
up
like
a
good-
powerful
let's do
sweat
another
on that
little
one.
song.
yeah. Do a little deep Ellen. Yep.
Yeah, let's do Deep Ellum. I like that.
How we doing on time, everybody? If any of you guys are ready to, you know, haven't had enough already, just send a comment and say, I've had enough, we don't want any more. Oh, Lordy. Ian did tell me the other night, he said, yeah, just do what you want. And I said, okay. Yeah.
Oh, Ian, I wish you hadn't said that.
I know. Bless your heart, Ian. We appreciate it. And I got to thank the girls here. These girls at the
Oh.
library are working out of the hours of the library tonight.
Yes, they
So
are.
thank you to them. And send them a little thank you note on the things there.
Yes, do.
We're going to do one called the Deep Ellum Blues. When you go down to Deep Ellum, have a little fun. Keep your $15 ready when that policeman comes. Oh, sweet mama, daddy's got them Deep Ellum blues. Oh, sweet mama, daddy's got them Deep Ellum blues. Well, once I knew a preacher, preached the Bible through and through. But it went down to Deep Ellum, now he's preaching days are through. Oh, sweet mama, daddy's got them Deep Ellum blues. Oh, sweet mama, daddy's got them Deep Ellum blues. Yes, it do. Play that thing. Well, once I had a sweet girl, what she meant the world to me. But she went down to Deep Ellum, now she ain't what she used to be. Oh, sweet mama, daddy's got them Deep Ellum blues. Oh, sweet mama, daddy's got them Deep Ellum blues. Yes, you do. Play it again, Steve. When you go down to Deep Ellum, keep your money in your socks. Them red-headed women, Lord, on the rocks. Oh, sweet mama, that has got them deep Pelham blues. Oh, sweet mama, that has got them deep Pelham blues. Oh, sweet mama, that has got them deep Pelham blues. One more time. Oh, sweet mama, that has got them deep Pelham blues.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I love to hear that slide. I get lost. I get to listen to what Steve's playing, and I forget what I was doing. Are you having any fun? Somebody send an emoji if you're having fun. Oh, man.
Boy, Liz.
The donut guy says hello, and where is the turkey call?
The donut guy. I
Mr.
love it.
Carl.
Yeah.
Hey, Carl.
That's right. Send
Thank
us a turkey call there.
Oh, I wish you could do the turkey
Man,
call.
I do too. Yeah, yeah.
Carl serves coffee at the
He
fairs,
does.
and he can do a turkey call with his
The
straw,
stirring stick.
the stirring, and he
See
just
that?
walks around doing the turkey.
That's right. That's right. Of course, the spiel is we always go, you know, if you go down there and you talk to Carl and tell him the Buffalo Barfield sent you, he'll give you a free turkey call
Yeah.
with that coffee that he's going to say it. So
That's
then,
right.
you know, the people's like, well, where's my turkey call? And you go, you're holding it. And they're like, what are you talking about? And I swear that Carl, he can pull that thing out and it sounds like, you know,
It
turkeys are
does.
excited somewhere. You know, he's
Yeah.
going, oh, he's doing that thing. I don't know how he does that, but that's one of them Delaware County things, I think.
It is.
Ain't that Delaware County?
Oh, yeah,
I
he's
believe
in
that's where
Delaware,
he's
and he's also in Otsego County too.
Yeah, Lord, he's got a tiki
Yeah.
hut up there.
But
Yeah.
if you go down there and get a coffee,
Which one?
we get free donuts, so that's why we like to send you down there. Because he gives us free donuts.
You keep talking me into Steve discussing
Oh, are y'all
something.
discussing
Is this what
something?
I play on this one?
No, I don't know. Let's do
It's all
by
right,
and
it
by.
don't matter.
Let's do that by and by. You played one of them on that, don't you?
Yeah,
I can't
'cause
remember
we're
which
getting,
one. It's funny. Now, for those of you that aren't musicians, you don't probably realize this, but depending on what key the song is, Steve has to retune one of these. So luckily for him, he has two of them here, and so we're just trying to figure out which one needed to have in his hand at the moment.
Yeah.
This is
Well, and they'll recognize this song too, because if you bought our gospel CD,
yeah.
Steve played on the gospel CD, so you will
Yep.
recognize his playing on there.
Yep, and you know, I have to think again. This is a song that I probably learned again because of hanging out with Steve.
Yeah.
Where does this come from, Steve? Do you know? I mean, what's the little background with it?
It was, originally I heard it on a Blind Willie, it's mine.
Blind Willie. There's a lot of blind. Yeah, and every blues guy.
But I learned it from a guy, he was a blind street preacher down in Americus, Georgia. His name was Pearlie Brown,
Pearlie Brown.
Reverend Pearlie Brown.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you know, I just want to make one little quick comment because Steve would never say this because he's too modest, but he said you went to America. Did you go to Americus and meet him? That's what I thought. You know, man, I met a lot of people, and this is where I was talking with Ian, and just for me and you in particular, we started out with the whole rub board, washboard things, came from us wanting to find out about Cajun music. Zydeco music, and we drove down there, you know, to just go see. I looked up, there was like 4 guys that built accordions and made washboards around that Lafayette area, 50-mile radius. So we just took off and stayed in the camper at the KOA campground. But it was because of stories I had told or heard, people like Steve talking. Steve was you were really one of the first people that I knew who actually did that. You remember back when we worked at the Music Maker, I did, and Steve would go, hey, I'm going to go to such and such. You want to ride up there? There's a good German restaurant, too, on the way back. So we'd go explore something. But, you know, if you're interested in something, in these folk and traditional arts, go venture out and try to find those people, especially the older people who are not going to be here a lot longer. You were lucky to
Yeah.
do that, though. I mean,
Yeah.
before, I don't know, what, the late 70s, you met a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, there's no substitute for going and, meeting those people and experiencing, once they find out that you're really interested in the culture and what they're doing, man, they're happy to tell you about it. And you'll never forget that process of doing that. And I don't know, it's just something special. I highly recommend anybody do that. If you're interested in something, go hunt it up and find it,
Go out and meet people.
Meet
Yes.
people, that's right. Go out and meet people. Even in this crazy COVID time. Just wear your Buffalo Barfield mask and you'll be okay. Hey, I like that segue. I threw that right in
Yes.
there.
Oh, my
Oh,
word.
yeah. Uncle Percy's hybrid spring water and a Buffalo Barfield mask.
Oh,
You'll be
boy,
all
you'll
right.
be all set.
Yeah.
All set, guys,
All set.
You
Yeah,
heard me,
New
all
York,
set.
when we talk to them people up north, you can't say all good.
No.
It's all set. Everybody's up
Everybody's
north.
all set.
Everybody that's up north tonight, just send me an all set on your little comments there.
All right.
This one's called By and By, I'm Going to See the King. Let's go. By and by, I'm going to see the King. By and by, I'm going to see the King. By and by, I'm going to see the King. Lord, I wouldn't mind dying, 'cause I'm a child of God. Ezekiel saw that wind way up in the sky. Ezekiel saw that wind way up in the sky. Ezekiel saw that wind way up in the sky. Lord, I wouldn't mind dying, 'cause I'm a child of God. Said by and by, I'm going to see the King. By and by, I'm going to see the King. By and by, I'm going to see the King. Lord, I wouldn't mind dying, 'cause I'm a child of God. One time. You know after death, you have to stand your test. You know after death, you have to stand your test. You know after death, you have to stand your test. Lord, I wouldn't mind dying, 'cause I'm a child of God. By and by, I hear the angels sing. By and by, I hear the angels sing. By and by, I hear the angels sing. Lord, I wouldn't mind dying, 'cause I'm a child of God. Come on, Steve.
Come on, y'all. Sing it with us.
Everybody sing. By and by. By and by, I'm going to see the King. By and by, I'm going to see the King. By and by, I'm going to see the King. Lord, I wouldn't mind dying, 'cause I'm a child of God. Let's sing it one more time, everybody. By and by, I'm going to see the King. Let me hear it. By and by, I'm going to see the King. By and by, I'm going to see the King. Lord, I wouldn't mind dying, 'cause I'm a child of God. Look at it. Yeah, I wouldn't mind dying, 'cause I'm a child of God. One more last time. Yeah, I wouldn't mind dying, 'cause I'm a child of God. Woo! Guys, I hope you had some fun with us tonight. I tell you, we'd love to just pick and pick and pick forever.
I wish we
but
could.
Hopefully, we'll get another chance to do this, and maybe we can team up with the folks here at the library and do that again. Please do us a favor and remember them, Pickens County Library, and show them a little support. And Michelle, you have that little iPad over there. I was
I do.
before we get totally out of here, thank everybody for tuning in tonight. We really appreciate your comments, and we've missed so much seeing so many of you on the road. Hopefully, maybe somewhere along the line, we can snag old Steve to take a ride up north with us. I think it'd be a whole heap of fun. Y'all could teach him how to say all set. He don't know how to do
There's lots
that
of all sets on here.
yet. Yeah, all right, I
there you
love it,
go.
all sets are on there. Before I go, I do want to, they had asked me just to mention a couple things in particular. Like I said, the South Carolina Arts Commission really had all the funding for having this, so a big
That's
hand for
right.
them. I mean, truly. The Arts Commission has helped a lot of artists like us through this time. As you all know, we haven't played any gigs at all since March. I mean, we've had every job that we had scheduled this year has been canceled. We played one in Clemson this past Wednesday, the first one since the governor said you could have a festival or something again.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's across the board for everybody in the music industry and everybody that has a venue. They can't do anything. So please support any kind of live music that you can. And, we're going to try to do more of this. If you feel it, we have a tip jar on the thing. We appreciate it. But mainly, I'd rather you just, even if you had to tonight, to help out the McKissick Museum here because they've really worked hard to do this whole series. And Ian in particular has been super nice to me. But if you have it, consider making a gift to the McKissick Museum. There's a link in the description, and if you would just send them a little something because all that money goes to help all us traditional artists that are out there. And I mean, there's a lot of places this goes to artists like us, to schools for programs that we do in a school where we go in and we teach kids to do this. It's because of the Arts Commission and people like the McKissick Museum and the library here because we've done programs with them. So we really do appreciate that. And thank you for tuning in tonight. Hopefully we get to do another one. And until then,
I hope so.
we'll see you in the spring when you come through the mattress.
Oh, my. Hopefully in July.
Hopefully,
so.
that's right.
That's
Yep.
right. Take care,
Stay
everybody.
in touch and
Love
send us some
everybody.
messages, y'all. Take
That's
care, everybody.
right. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.